Push Away the Moon by Reaching Away. This is another album I have absolutely no idea about. I just happened to add it to my list, and then when I saw it on there again, I had completely forgotten where I had found it. I have no idea where this album came from. It's just a complete mystery to me, really. And when I listened to it, I really was quite floored by it. The music here is pretty much grunge if you ask me. In the vocals and the music, it does kind of feel straight up like grunge to me. Only it's all acoustic. The vocals have that thing going on with them where it sounds like the vocalist is like moping in an echoey hole in the ground, like he's in a well or something. Nice level of emotion to everything. I would say in part it's very much to do with how the vocalist's voice sounds. It's very raw with emotion, very flawed and grainy, and it's like he has voice cracks in every other line or something. When he sings the lyrics on Push Away the Moon, it is very convincing, really. I push away the moon, I turn out the light. That whole song does give off extreme feelings of isolation, or like self-imposed isolation, choosing misery as it's comfortable for you. Aside from the vocalist's vulnerability though, I really think it's the riffs that work to make this album so emotional. They're just so like resoundingly hurt. You can especially hear this in the song The Worst of Me, which is a song that feels very emo. So much feeling to this track, I love it. Feelings of having your joy turned upside down, of losing your light. Very sad. More themes of loneliness and isolation on this song. It's a very present theme throughout the whole album. I love the way the instrumentation hurtles forwards in all of these songs. It's like the instrumentation is trying not to think about how it's hurting, but it can't escape the overpowering feelings of sadness that are present. Like there's so many fluttering, hard to contain feelings that come with this album. No emotional balance, just being consumed by pain and loneliness. The guitar can feel so muddled at points, so constant and layered like an uncalm mind. Some of the songs have a good amount of energy to them, which is very nice between the songs that wrench at your heart more. But that's not to say they don't carry within them the same tone as the slower tracks, because they do. Generally, there's a very consistent feeling across the album, whether the songs are sprawling out or rushing. Love how raw the drums feel as well, almost just like buckets being hit at points. And the bass is cool too, although it can be quite hard to make out in the mix on a lot of the album. It has its moments on a couple tracks where it really shines through, and I think generally it helps to keep the gloomy kind of atmosphere that this album has. I find the lyrics to generally be quite good. Guilt Gone Blind, for example, is about entering back into a relationship with an ex, and you both know it's bad for you, and you both know it will definitely end badly as well, but for a while you just pretend, just for some comfort for the time being. You can't really escape those foreboding feelings though. On some songs the lyrics can be quite simple, but they work well to express the overall attitude and themes of the album. There's a lot of stuff here about relationships just not going right. It's a very realistic portrayal of relationship dynamics, I feel. Always complex things going on between the vocalist and his partner, rather than any kind of romanticized vision. Everything is very messy instead. The vocalist seems to resign himself to isolation a lot due to these relationships always being so complicated, and then never working out in the end anyways. He sounds a bit like the guy from R.E.M., like a much more downtrodden and sad R.E.M. really. This band is like a grunge version of R.E.M. That's not a diss or anything, just an amusing thought. I actually prefer this to most of R.E.M.'s music. The album sounds like a lost relic from the 90s, but it actually came out in 2010. Yeah, this album is really good. I wouldn't recommend for anyone to listen to it often though, as it really is a downer. I would recommend instead listening to Curtis Mayfield to achieve positive, influential grind mentality. But if we're being real, the fans of this band aren't looking for positivity. They're looking for that tender, torn feeling, and there's heaps of it on this album. Sometimes there's this incredibly subtle, high sound coming off the guitar in the mix, and it really does feel like a ray of hope obscured under all of this turmoil and trouble. I think ultimately this album isn't like hopeless or anything. It hasn't given up. It's just going through it. And I honestly feel like there's a transformative experience listening to this album from start to finish, as the last song feels like it has quite a bit of hope in it. Like a moment where he is conscious of the fact that he will eventually heal from his current depression and he will get over his current situation. Basically an acknowledgement that things will be alright in the end. That's what it feels like to me anyway. But yeah, this album was really a nice surprise. Very solid and emotional album. I give it 8.5 cats out of a possible 10 cats. But yeah, that's about it for this review. Subscribe to the Catman Show. Leave a like. Leave a comment. Goodbye.